and welcome to Code Confidence. Today we are doing a problem called climbing stairs from Leetcode. Let's read the problem statement first. You are climbing a staircase. It takes n steps to reach the top. That means n is our input here. Each time you can either climb 1 or 2 steps, okay? And in how many distinct ways can you climb to the top? So the question is asking us to find the number of ways in which we can climb the staircase. And we are given that we can only take 1 or 2 steps at a time. Alright, let's look at the constraints first. The value of n can be between 1 and 45, which is very small, which indicates that there might be some kind of a recursive solution to this problem, or there might be a sequence which would give us very large numbers. So let's take a few example cases before we actually start coding the solution to this problem. Now in the problem we are given n is the only input that we have and its value can range from 1 to 45. So let's see the smallest value of n and see what our solution will be. For n is equal to 1, there is only one stair in our staircase. Pretty small staircase. In how many ways can we climb to the top from the bottom? Well, we can move either 1 step or 2 steps, but since the total number of steps is less than 2, so this step cannot be used. We can only climb 1 step at a time, and we can take that 1 step to reach the top. So for this, the solution which I am writing as f of n will be 1. Okay. Let's take another example. What if n is equal to 2? In this case, we have 2 stairs. So we can either take 1 step at a time to reach the top like this, or we can directly jump to the top by taking 2 steps at a time. In this case, thus, the solution for f of 2 will be 2. Let's take another example. For n is equal to 3. Now that we have 3 steps, things can become interesting. One way to climb these stairs is by taking 1 step at a time. So that is the first way. I can also go to the first step and then jump 2 steps to reach to the top. Or I can jump 2 steps and then take 1 more step to reach the top. These are the 3 ways in which I can reach the top if the number of stairs is 3. So f of 3 is equal to 3. Did you observe that we added 1 stair to an already existing 2 stairs? So is there a way that we can use this to figure out the solution for the number of stairs if I know the solution for a smaller number of stairs? Now let's look at f of 3, f of 2 and f of 1 together. F of 3 is 3, f of 2 is 2 and f of 1 is 1. So there can be several guesses that we can make. For example, we can say f of n is equal to n, or we can say f of n is equal to f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2, because f of 3 is equal to f of 2 plus f of 1. So we can form several different kinds of formulas and validate which one of these formulas fits our inputs. So let's take one more example, which is n is equal to 4. Now in that case, we have 4 stairs. Now one way to reach the top is 1 step at a time. Okay. Another way is to go to the first stair, then take 1 more step and then take 2 steps. Another way could be go to the first step, take 2 steps, take 1 more step. You could also go to step 2 directly, then take one step and then take one more step. Or you could go to step 2 directly and then go to the top directly. These are the 5 possible ways. So our f of 4 comes out to be 5. Now we had a formula f of n is equal to n, which does not fit for this example, but f of n is equal to f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. If I look at this, so we have f of 4, which is 5, is equal to f of 3, which is 3, plus f of 2, which was 2, and this seems to be correct. So one of our formulas seems to fit our inputs. I am not going into the mathematical details of it, but this is the correct formula for this question. And also now you can see that this formula is the Fibonacci sequence. So what this question of climbing stairs is asking us is to code Fibonacci sequence for the values of n, where n can be from 1 to 45. Alright, enough on the theory. Let's go to the platform and code the solution. Alright, so we are in Leetcode now and we need to code this function here. It takes n as an input and we need to return the value of the number of ways in which we can climb the stairs. So from our discussion, we can say that if n is equal to 1, then we should return 1, which is the answer. And if n is equal to 2, in that case also we should return 2. So I can combine this together and I can write if n is equal to 1 or n is equal to 2, in that case we can return n. These are our base cases. For the other cases, we can write the Fibonacci solution and we can say first comma second is equal to 1 comma 2, and then we can say in a loop for I in range 3 to n plus 1, the value of second should be the old value of second plus the old value of first, and the value of first should be the old value of second. So what we are doing is we are moving these first and second variables in the sequence one at a time. Once this loop finishes, we can return the value of second as it will store our answer. Alright, so that's it for the code. Let's run and verify if our example cases pass. Okay, these test cases are passing. I will take a couple more test cases. Let's say I'll take n is equal to 1 for the minimum value and n is equal to 45 for the maximum value, and maybe let's take one more as 20 as a number in the middle. Okay, now let's run and see if the test cases are still passing. They are, and so we can now submit this and it's an accepted solution. Cool. Now let's talk about the time complexity and space complexity of this problem. What do you think the time complexity should be? Well, although n is very small in the problem, it's only 45, but still we are running a loop here, so the time complexity will be of the order of n. And what about the space complexity? We are only using two variables here as extra spaces and nothing more, so space complexity will be O of 1. Alright, so that's it for this video. I will see you another time.